How about...
Hello everyone and welcome to my introduction to my Fallout 4 settlement at Starlight Drive-In. Now, this settlement has taken quite a lot of time to put together, and I've been adding on to it on and off for weeks, maybe months now. So it's really quite a bit of an accomplishment in terms of, you know, just sheer effort on my part. You didn't really plan to get into it so heavily. So what I'm gonna do, something I should have done first, is let's try to get no chairs out here. Alright, so what we're gonna do now is let's go to morning. Yeah, I just finished setting up the last of the furniture and so on. So I was went up there to up on the hill to get a really nice view of the settlement at night, but I haven't been able to put enough lights on it for it to really show up the way that, you know, I would imagine it should. So for now, we're going to go to daylight and take a look at this thing in full sunshine, so to speak. Now, those of you who would have seen my last video in terms of settlements, you would remember what I did with Sanctuary. It was an enclosed, completely enclosed structure with all the amenities inside. This settlement at Starlight is technically the same thing, although I suppose the isolation here, or the separation, is from elevation rather than enclosure. So we'll take a look at what that results in a moment. The Starlight Drive-In gives you a lot of space, and the build capacity, the build limit, is kind of low. So I did actually have to raise the build limit quite a few times. So let's see here, 1 hour. And Ada. I like Ada. Ada is comforting somehow. So the idea here is that this thing would resemble an offshore drilling rig. So, you know, it was kind of poetic because we have this sea of broken asphalt underneath, and then you have these pillars rising up to support this massive structure. And massive enough that, you know, you go under there and it's a different temperature because of the shade. The structure is designed in sections. You have let's see, a starboard section, port side section, and a center section, and each of those has different levels. Now down here, you all would know that this puddle was radioactive when you start, but once you clear it out and get the barrels out and scrap everything, the radiation goes away, which I did not know. I was not aware of that, which is why I built the settlement so high up above. And I didn't want to build on the ground around a radioactive, you know, puddle in the center there. So eventually I figured out that it can be cleaned up, and you know, it worked out for the best, because I do kind of like this design up above. We have our robot center here, robot workbench, and I haven't built anything with it as yet, but since I got Ada and I got the blueprint, I figured I needed to put it somewhere. So you access this by these stairs, and this is the only way into the settlement, and as you can see, this way is guarded really well by turrets and so on, and the settlers themselves have been well armed. So we go up here, and as usual with my settlements, the entrance point is marked by a decontamination arch, so that just by entering the settlement I am taken care of as far as that. I don't need to go and search for it. So on the port side and starboard side, this is starboard, you have these two levels that are apartments. So you have apartments here, and on the, this is port side, on the port side you also have apartments here up and above, and each of these apartments takes the same pattern. So let's just go into one, and you'll see you have a little living area, and every single one of these apartments has their own TV. In Sanctuary, I did not give them TVs in their rooms. Instead, I had like one massive cinema, a movie cinema with a massive screen. But here I decided to make it a little more personal, seeing as they were this close to the public spaces, which we'll get to in a second. You have a cabinet here for storing clothes and items and stuff, and you have a bed on this side, partially barricaded off to give some kind of privacy. And you have light coming in from these bulbs, TV's working fine, couch to entertain people on. So it's kind of as comfortable as I could think of to make this little space. And you know, people can be happy here and make themselves at home. The door for privacy, and there's enough of these to comfortably fit quite a large population. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's a block of 6 apartments here, and then there's another block of 6 apartments here. So that's 6 and 6, 12 on the port side, and then you have a corresponding 12 on the starboard side. So that's 24 apartments on this first level, and then when you go up to the next level you have another 24. So this settlement can comfortably fit 48 settlers, each of them with their own well-appointed apartment. So you've noticed that the way you move up and down is on the edges with these step ladders, and the center levels are offset by half a floor, and that's partly to, you know, make it a little more stylish, and also it facilitated a lot of the build, because for one, I was able to get these stairs to serve both as stairs and also as an interlocking mechanism for the levels. And it also made it easier to run wiring, because from one level to the other really wasn't that far. So let's look at the center levels, because that's where some of the variation will come in. So oops, down, here we go. And this level down here is the one that's suspended partly underneath the construction. So if you look down there, you'll see it's just open space below, and we're just suspended here by the connecting struts that also serve as ladders. It's netted off here to prevent people from falling through, which was something that happened a lot when I was building this place. And here we have the main switch. So if I turn this off, power to the entire settlement goes out, and you see the radio beacon up on the roof deactivates. Turn it on, and there we go. So here we have our array of power generators, and these provide the electricity for the settlement. There's a lot of room for expansion if we need more power, but when I got to this point I realized that it was more than enough for the power expenditure we have. So these levels here you can see also act as railings to prevent people from falling through, and they are the mesh grid instead of solid grid, so that it lets sunlight filter down as well. Here we have an array of power armor stations. I haven't really started collecting power armors yet, but this is where it'll go. Now the power is run through conduit, not through wires, just as in my previous settlement. There's these short connecting wires to put the generators into a nice grid, and they go up and connect to the conduit. But once you get to the conduit, it's conduit all the way. Oh, somebody's speaking. And it's a ring arrangement where you have conduits going in a power ring all the way around each level, so no matter where you are or where you need to put a light bulb or a appliance or a device, there's always a point where you can draw power from nearby. Right, so we have all that power from the generators being brought to the main switch, and then from the main switch we have that now sent up through the structure and being distributed among the levels. So for instance, you have power to the arch, you have power going all the way down here, and these are the structures that actually distribute the power. You know, it's the house connector that I use here, and then from there it radiates power to all of these lights at a pretty far range. So that's how we get electricity and lighting. Here you have some hallways midway to at least make it not monotonous. Out here, I did put some benches here earlier so that, you know, people can come out and it can serve as kind of an observation deck. I had assumed that I would be able to do this on the other side as well, but as I'll get to, the build limit for this settlement is really low, so I'm not even sure if it can handle adding anything else to this structure. Furnishing the apartments was a big chunk of the space budget, and I had to use command console and bump that up quite a lot to allow these things to be placed. So from the engineering deck down below, you can take a step up and come here, and this is the mall. This is where we have all the stores, general stores, clothing stores, bar, armor, and weapons, which are all these stores. And we have vendors for each. I was building these and I did not know that each of these counts as a separate store. I thought it would just be like one long counter and that you could, you know, form an arrangement with it and kind of make your own store space, but no, it's actually 3 different stores counters here. So we actually have extra stores. I can reassign people to work these if I wanted to. And I think it kind of works better with you know, everyone kind of centered out. Makes it look a little bit more professional and upscale. On this side we have utilities. You have cooking station, armor workbench, weapons workbench. We have another cooking station here. Chem station, I believe. Yeah, unmistakable, that one. And then you also have a barber chair and a surgery. So you have more than just the basic amenities. Everything well lit. You have a lighting space down the center here, which is mirrored up above. So even in the daylight, you don't really need much electricity. But you know, we have it, so might as well. Up here is a promenade deck, and this was kind of designed as a relaxation space, a kind of a level for contemplation and conversation, that sort of thing. We have the Nika Mixer Station, we have some art, sculptures, kind of surreptitiously trying to set the mood for my settlers to grow the population. Nuka-Cola machine, Vim, we have the jukebox, can play some tunes. On this end we have milk machine, ice machine, we have some more art, wood, cigarettes and coffee. It's an espresso machine, I think. So this serves as kind of a quiet place. I haven't really seen the settlers spending much time here, but it's still here if they ever need to.
I've never lost anyone before.
Up on this end is a very important part of it. The portside top deck is where we produce our food. So you can see a lot of people here hard at work, tending to the crops. We have mud fruit, carrots, corn, and so there's some variety here. Although I personally always find that mud fruit gives you the most bang for your buck in terms of food production. Up here we have the very, very highest level, and this is called the Flying Bridge. So it gives you a great view of the wasteland, at the highest point of the settlement, and it's a really nice place for me to come and relax and just look out on the scene, the vista around. On this side we have the siren for if there are any attacks, someone can ring that, although I think it's probably out of reach of most people in the sense that they don't think to come up here and switch it on. I put it up here because I was kind of hoping that if an attack did happen that they would retreat to the settlement. That isn't always the case. The starboard side top deck is free space. It's not used at the moment, so we have a lot of room in this settlement for expansion. We can continue doing any other number of things that we need to. We have a lot of room on the port side top deck for expanded gardening and any other activities you want to set up there. So pretty well set in terms of space. These things are designed in a kind of tiered way so that even if I fell off here I'd land down on the lower level. On this side we have, you can see it up there, it's the radio beacon, and that broadcasts our signal and gets new settlers to come in. They come in at kind of an okay rate, but there's still a lot of space left in the settlement for a lot more settlers. So this is the mall. Down on the engineering deck is where I have the port management system. So let's just take a look at that and see how many settlers I have. 6 farmers, 3 scavengers, 1 caravan. Thought I had more. Armorers, bartenders, dealers, junk dealers, arms dealers. So it's a good enough economy. Oh, we do have some unemployed people, but I think this vault management system doesn't count the barber and the surgeon. So that's usually what they're referring to there. Right, machine guns all around. So even if they wanted to, raiders and stuff couldn't really breach this place without taking massive amounts of fire. This is the top of one of the columns that supports the structure. The lights, as you can see, all around, trying to keep as many shadows out of the place as possible, because I wanted it to be well lit and welcoming, where people can roam and explore the space and really be secure in knowing that that they won't be bothered up here. Let's see. For instance, up on this level is where, and the top decks is where I really started getting into the street lighting. So as you can see, street lights go all the way down, all the way around. We have our flags, because we can. And again, it was just a matter of like not being able to build more. Like, it was at a point where if I built many more items, I could quite possibly crash the game at this location. So while there is room to expand and to put street lighting down on the lower level as well, put some railing to protect people from falling off, and put some more benches so that people can enjoy the scenery. While there is room for that, I haven't really gone ahead and filled all that out because I don't want the game to go beyond its limits as far as this settlement is concerned. Here you have the walkways, and as I mentioned, these are the ones that let the sunlight filter through. Designed to be kind of close so that you can't accidentally slip through the gaps. You absolutely can. Here we see our conduits being run down the length of it, and it also goes around the other side. We have some more apartments here. All of them are pointed in the same way. So it's a very enclosed kind of, not enclosed, it's a very compact, no, not compact either. It's a very dense kind of arrangement where you have everything you need within within just a few steps of you. Really, you have power, you have living space, you have an economic space, you have a relaxation space, you have agricultural space, and all of that. There's also, let me just show you here, I did take into account facilities. So here we have washroom facilities and bathroom facilities. So we have some water fountains here, and this is the male side. So you'll see we have signs for male, signs for female, so either one. Here we have the bathroom facility, so we have a tub, we have a water source, and here is the toilet facility, so we have a walk-in toilet and we have sinks as well, so there's no excuse for hygiene. And we have the water fountains there as well. So it's everything you really would need to kind of have a safe space to settle and build up a life here in the apocalypse. And it's a very large settlement. It's much larger than the settlement at Sanctuary Hills. Sanctuary Hills can only take, I think it's 21 settlers it's really built for. So this settlement is a little more than twice the size of that flagship settlement. So it's really built to last in terms of like being a center of being a population center and being a center of civilization in this area. Right, and of course I am the Minuteman General at this point, so I have our flags flying and everyone's well taken care of. So I hope you guys kind of enjoy the layout. The offset decks was really hard to get. It was really difficult to get that done because I had to manually put a wall there and then put a floor halfway up the wall and make sure it lined up properly so that as you keep building down the line, it doesn't go off by feet and yards and whatever.
Ain't looking
So
for
it took a lot of
trouble.
work to line everything up properly. These apartments, for instance, you can see that they're pretty well lined up here. That did not come easily at all because snapping was a problem for vertical walls meeting flat floors. The wiring took a while because it had to be done in sections, so we have a power ring going around the port side sections, power rings on the starboard side sections, and power rings on the center sections as well. So all of that had to be done individually, like you can see one there. This is the ring that goes around the ceiling of the promenade. Power rings here as well, going in. And you can't see it here, but up on the top there's a power ring that goes on the outside. The engineering deck was really supposed to be for my stuff. Looks like what I probably would have done is to get my own armor workbench and weapons workbench down here. But I figured it's not really something I need extra right now. I can just use the one upstairs on the promenade. And the settlers also tend to use it sometimes. Down on the floor outside here is where we have the scavenging stations. So we have a scavenging station there. A couple of them here as well. So we have scavengers at work on a regular basis. We have our Brahmin trough here. And he just showed up one day. I don't know like where he came from. Another one here just in case. And our workbench itself of course is in here. I didn't really want to worry about it too much, so it can stay there. And here's how it looks from the side. So you can see the engineering deck suspended on the underneath there, which I think is really cool. It's really nice theme that you have the split levels. Massive columns really look nice in terms of, you know, looking like they serve the support function. Again, this one took a little while to get lined up. You can see one off there, not really where it should be. But it's a really safe settlement. And in fact, it's safer than my sanctuary build because to this day, no one has gotten close to entering, really. It's like they come this way and they're all shut down by the time they really get within bounds. And even if they did, you know, the pathway that's set out for them, it's so well covered that they wouldn't make it up to the top of the stairs. And yet, these guns have not had an opportunity to really flex their muscles because, you know, raiders just keep getting cut down. I think there's a point that they come from somewhere here. Yeah, so you see, I think the last thing was this iBot that came in. And we had some super mutants at a point in time. They got dealt with pretty quickly as well. Settler. Yeah, so they're well armed. I make sure to have settlers be able to defend themselves. So there you have it. I once again do not expect to be building these intricate settlements all over. I really just wanted to get the sanctuary settlement done. And once that was done, I just kind of figured the other settlements I'll just do the bare necessities. But seeing the amount of space that Starlight Drive-In afforded me, I really couldn't resist the temptation to do something inspired. So that's why I came up with the idea to really do a rig, a drilling platform kind of arrangement, especially to get over the radioactivity at the bottom. So it's a very sturdy settlement. It's very safe, and it's one that's going to last for a long while. And I have taken to using it as my base of operations more than Sanctuary itself. So hopefully this is the last major build that I do, because I do kind of want to get ahead with, you know, just playing the game. So we'll see how that progresses. I know I have settlements at Abernathy Farms and at a couple of the others. Where is it? There are a few settlements, and I have not done anything major on them. I have settlements at the castle, 10 Pines Bluff here, Abernathy Farms, Red Rocket, Sunshine Tidings. I managed to do a pretty good job of keeping my settlers happy. So here we have the happiness at 82%. Starlight is 82. 10 Pines is 63. I'll check on those guys. Sanctuary is 81. And I believe that's my settlement so far. So for me it's mostly just about making sure they have the amenities. I don't know how the mechanics of it work exactly, and I know there's people who can explain that, but for me I wanted to build it as though I were planning it for an actual post-apocalyptic scenario, in the sense that just to make sure there's everything there that I would want if this were real. And I didn't want to get too heavy into the modding, because, you know, it's a kind of thing that you can get carried away with. But I do really like what I was able to do here. You can see here I'm using up pretty much all the space straight up to the screen. And oh, scared me, girl. And that's my new home. So thank you for watching, and if you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below.